What's up, y'all? What's up? All right, so we're gonna get straight into it, man. I just finished watching season 5, volume 2 of Stranger Things, and my thoughts on it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was alright. This is somebody who has been watching Stranger Things since 2015, so been a fan of it. I'm a fan of the 80s. I am big on nostalgia. I'm a very nostalgic person, so I appreciated Stranger Things from the get go. Now, this season, the last season, this is the last hoorah, right? And like I said, my thoughts on it is I thought it was pretty cool. Now, at first, I did have some mixed emotions about it. I felt like the pacing was a little off to me, but that's just to me. But as I watched it and as the storyline progressed, I'm like, all right, I can appreciate it. I like it, and I see that they're headed somewhere with it. Like I said, it's the last season. So here's some things that I noticed, and here are my thoughts on it. Now, again, some of this stuff I may be reaching, but I am going to share my thoughts with y'all regardless. It don't matter. What I do like about it is I like the character development, especially with Will. I like how they split the teams up into threes. You got one part. You got Dustin, Steve, and Nancy and Jonathan. They're off and they're all in the upside down world trying to figure out what's going on. Then another part, you got Hop with 11 and her sister. They somewhere else in the upside down world. Then you got Will, Mike, Winona Ryder character. I can't think of her name, but of course Will's mom. Who else? Lucas, Mats. You got them off doing their own thing too. Everybody's doing their part trying to figure it out. So Nancy, Jonathan, Dustin, and Steve, they bickering. You got Dustin and Steve going through their whole thing. Dustin, he's still having trauma behind the death of Eddie. Then you got Nancy and Jonathan, and in the midst of all this that's going on, Jonathan looking like, all right, I get it. We gotta save the world. We gotta deal with these monsters. We gotta deal with this Vecna guy, this upside down universe or dimension. I get it. But, and this is him talking to Nancy, but what's going on with me and you? Cause you acting kind of funny right now. I mean, yeah, I know. We trying to figure out what's going on. We trying to save the world. I understand. But what's your issue with me? Cause I'm trying to communicate with you, and you a bit standoffish right now. I ain't really feeling that. I ain't feeling that. Of course, Nancy, in typical female fashion, her whole response at first was, "What you mean? What you talking about? I ain't doing nothing. What? You gonna ask me this while all this going on? We just got chased by demigorgons. You gonna ask what?" What? Now, here's where I may be reaching at, because within the whole series, the Duffer brothers, they've always did like little callbacks or references to other 80s TV shows and movies, and it's no different in this season. We've seen a reference to Back to the Future, and we got two more that maybe I'm the only one seeing. It could be a reach, but I'm seeing Children of the Corn, and I'm seeing Ghostbusters 2. You know, the one with the Bobby Brown song. And I guess we're gonna do that one. Ghostbusters. Again. Disclaimer. More than likely, maybe I'm reaching. Maybe I'm just looking, I'm overanalyzing this. I'm looking too far, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure some of y'all gonna be in the comments like, what? But it's all good. It's all good. So the scene where Dustin and Steve and Nancy and Jonathan, they kind of branched off. They kind of split into twos, and they are off doing their own thing, trying to figure out what's going on. We see Nancy and Jonathan, they stumble upon like this whole part where, or this whole section of the building where everything looks melted. And they get up on the rooftop, and Nancy shoots off a shotgun up into the sky, and it hits like this force field, and it just pretty much corrupt things. It makes things worse. So they end up, Nancy and Jonathan end up falling into this room. Knocks them out. They wake up. They look around them. Everything is melting. You got all this goo. So it's looking like they're not gonna make it. Now this is where my Ghostbusters 2 theory, or maybe not theory, but reference comes in at. Because it looks like they're not gonna make it. But in the midst of all that, the life and death situation, Jonathan is still like, I get it. We about to die. But what's up with you though? Cause I mean, it's looking like you like Steve. You still like Steve? You want Steve back? Cause I mean, you need to tell me something. So they both agree. You know what? Let's just have an honest moment. In this life and death situation, we try to find we tried to find a way to get out. It ain't happening. So if we about to die, let's just be honest with each other, and you know, at least we can have that honesty moment. And that's what they did. They became honest. You know, Nancy confesses that she doesn't like the Clash. She doesn't like when he smokes weed or pot. He confessed stuff that he didn't like about her. And they just have this honest moment. And in that moment, it brought them closer. Jonathan even confessed that he was going to propose. Showed her the ring. And the proposal may have been for the wrong reason. Because he felt like his whole thing was, maybe if I propose to you, if we get married, it'll bring us closer. Which, you know, in some cases could happen. But that may not have been the best way to do it. Because if there's something that you guys needs to heal from, you gotta heal first. And you have to have some communication and just get over whatever that you guys are going through. So that's what they did. And then they realized that, you know what? I do love you. And I love you too. And they hugged. And Jonathan threw the ring. And you hear a cling. And in that moment, it looked like, well, not looked, because this is what happened. Everything became solid. It stopped melting. It became solid. Now you can take that and say that, you know, their relationship became more solid, so therefore everything around it became solid. Whatever, however you want to take it. But I looked at it as a kid who watched Ghostbusters 2 11 times. If you watch Ghostbusters 2, you know that they was dealing with some goo. And they dealt with, who's the guy name in the painting? I forgot the guy, the villain. I forgot his name. Hit me up in the comments. Tell me. I'll probably find it and I'll throw it across my screen. But with the goo, the little pink slime, they realized that to defeat or to weaken the slime, to combat the slime, you have to become positive. The slime did not react great to positivity. So they ended up playing Jackie Wilson around New York and it defeated Islam. My point behind all this is maybe within this whole Dimension X, the upside down place, loving positive stuff may help defeat this whole universe, whatever. Just my thoughts on it. Again, maybe I'm reaching, but that does bring me to Will. Will has been going through so much. Will has been going through a lot. It started with Will. And in the midst of him going through everything that he's going through, one second. So, again, everything that Will was going through, trying to defeat the Demogorgons, Vecna, all this. And of course, we know that Vecna was using Will as a vessel to spy in the whole nine. And unbeknownst to Will, he was helping build this whole upside down world and place in Dimension X and all this. So Will has been going through a lot. And on top of that, he is pretty much wrestling or battling his sexuality because he's gay. And he doesn't know how to even tell his family and friends because he feel like, he doesn't know how they're going to react to it. And people, we have to keep in mind too, this is the 80s. This is the 80s. In the 80s, being gay and people accepting being gay on just the level of the way it is right now, that really didn't exist in the 80s. It just didn't. So he has all this to deal with because he doesn't know. And of course, Vecna, in pure Vecna fashion, he kidnaps, not kidnap, but he finds a way to infiltrate Will's mind and, talk to Will and manipulate Will and tells Will, or at least shows him, that if you came out to your family and friends, they're going to disown you. And, that's just to even, because he looks at Will as weak. But what we have seen in this season is that whenever Vecna has an interaction with Will where he tries to manipulate and he tries to pretty much break Will down or just break him, it kind of backfires because it makes Will even stronger. And sometimes you have to go through a battle to come out a soldier, I guess. I guess in a sense, you a soldier, that's why you battle. Whatever, you know what I mean already. So with that being said, Will, he has enough. He's fed up. He's like, you know what? We're not doing this. I'm already going through enough. I'm not going to allow you to hold it up in my head to make me feel like whatever. I'm already going through enough. So listen, I'm going to tell my peoples myself. And either they're going to accept it or they're not. And for the ones who don't accept it, maybe they're not designed or supposed to be in that moment in my life. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to allow this thing to keep me down. I'm not. It's not going to happen. So of course, he tells his family and friends, and like we expected, they accepted. Now I ain't gonna lie, when I watched it, as that part was unfolding, I thought that somebody in the group was gonna say, "We already know. We been knew. We love you regardless. Now let's go fight these monsters." But of course, they had to have that scene served for a more emotional moment. So once he came out, he was crying, everything. Jonathan is crying because he's happy for his brother, you know what I'm saying, living his truth. And they all have this moment where they all hug. Which maybe it was a little bit, to me, corny, but maybe I didn't get enough hugs as a child. I don't know. So that's that. Then that brings me, because to me, the whole Will arc and the way his character has developed, to me, the Duffers is doing a great job with that. And Will needed this, because Will been going through so much for almost 10 years now. But he needed this. And and we're getting a chance to see his growth, and that brings me to Holly, Mike's little sister, who was like 3 years old in season 4, but she's like 14 now. Well, at least she about 9, but I think in real life she's like 14. But anyways, brings me to Holly. Holly was somebody who, she's scared. She's a young girl. This is all new to her, and she kind of pretty much was just dropped into this world to defend herself. Within like what, a 2-3 day span. But she's shown a lot of growth for just a young girl to have to deal with all this. And she escapes, in a sense, and Vecna, he captures her and brings her back to the old happy, sunny, evil house that these little children of the corn. See, this was a turning moment, because these kids, it's like, damn, what? They brainwashed. Holly's trying to explain to them that, look, this guy Henry Vecna, he's not good. Everything that you guys think about him is false. He's trying to destroy the world. He's evil, the whole nine. These kids turn on her in such a, I'm not gonna say horrific, but just they whole attitudes. I'm talking about like the B word was flying around. They slamming her on the ground. It's like, what the hell is going on? But again, still, I feel like Holly, she's going through so much, and it's made her stronger. You know, she can't fight all of them, but she tried, and she did a great job. And you know, we got the last episode coming Wednesday, so I'm pretty sure she got some more fight in her. When it comes to 11 and her sister, at first I didn't know what to think of the sister. I didn't think much of it at all, other than the fact that 11 was reunited with her sister. But then when Hop started saying stuff, and he started feeling like, you know, the sister, she's hiding something, and now we're seeing the sister. But we at least we're seeing the sister tell 11, we gotta die. Like, I know the plan, but our plan should be to stay back, and when this whole thing destroyed, we have to be destroyed with it, because we're kind of a part of this. Now I'm looking like, I'm gonna tell you this much, man. I believe the last episode, the final episode, is gonna be very emotional. I feel like this. I feel like it's gonna be very, very, very emotional. But we're gonna see, man, because again, it comes on Wednesday, the last episode. I can't wait to see how this thing plays out and ends. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. Do y'all think that I'm reaching on certain parts? Like I said, maybe I am. Are you guys satisfied so far with the season is headed, and thus far with everything that's happened in the season so far? Let's talk about it, all right? And of course, we're gonna talk about the last episode, probably Wednesday or Friday. I'm gonna release an episode or a video. But until then, man, I will see y'all soon, and peace.